Thank you for joining this video regarding the Paycheck Protection Program. My name is G. Winston Smith, and I am the president of the NMSDC Business Consortium Fund. We're here to talk about what you need to do to get your PPP loan. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. The Paycheck Protection Program grew out of, or was part of, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or the CARES Act. Initially, it was funded with $350 billion for all small businesses. It is intended to cover 8 weeks of cash flow. It is federally guaranteed 100% by the SBA. And initially, 75% of the funding of the loan amount had to be used for payroll. There was an expansion in late April of this year. An additional $310 billion was added to the PPP program. And then there was some flexibility added to the program as well. There was a reduction in the requirement in the amount that needed to be used for payroll from 75% to 60%. There was an expansion in the number of weeks that were available to spend the funds. Now it is up to 24 weeks. And now it is easier to get the loan fully forgiven. Today, if the amount that is borrowed is not fully forgiven and a portion or all of it becomes a loan, then that loan carries a 1% interest rate. If the PPP loan, if you received your PPP loan prior to June 5th and a portion of it is determined to be to remain as a loan, then you have 2 years to pay off the balance. But if you received your PPP loan after June 1st, after June 5th, and all or a portion of it is determined to be a loan, then you have 5 years to pay off the loan. There are no payments due until either the forgiveness application is processed and SBA determines how much of the amount of the loan is forgivable and how much is not forgivable, or until 10 months after your covered period ends. There's no collateral required for the PPP loan. There's no personal guarantee required for it, and the borrower does not have to pay any fees. Again, expenses can be covered over a 24-week period after the loan has been funded. And so long as the expenses for which, the eligible expenses for which the loan proceeds are used existed prior to February 15th, 2020. There is more than $130 billion available for PPP loans. And so I encourage every business that hears this message that needs a PPP loan to apply. Look over to your bottom right-hand screen, and you will see that the application due date is June 26th, and for applications to BCF. Let me tell you how we got here. This is really a partnership for PPP involving the National Minority Supplier Development Council, Worldwide Technologies, which is a minority business and a corporate plus minority business within the NMSDC ecosystem, the Business Consortium Fund, and you. Adrian Trimble, the president of NMSDC and the CEO, reached out to assist MBEs. She saw that there was a tremendous need for MBEs within NMSDC and therefore MBEs generally to get PPP loans. But we needed someone to fund those loans. Adrian spoke to Mr. David Stewart, whom we know is the chair and the founder of Worldwide Technology. Mr. Stewart connected us with Midwest BankCentre. Both companies, Worldwide Technology and Midwest BankCentre, are based there in St. Louis, Missouri. And so within this partnership, Midwest BankCentre funds the PPP loan. Ideally, borrowers will allow their loan proceeds to be deposited into an account at Midwest BankCentre. It will also allow the borrower to more easily segregate the funds that were used for payroll and other eligible expenses versus other funding that the borrower has to process through their other checking account. And so borrowers will have online access to their funds. BCF processes applications meeting the requirements of Midwest BankCentre, which are the requirements of SBA. BCF receives an agency fee for processing these loans. You can access the BCF website and the page whereby you can begin your lending PPP loan process with this link or this URL. It is a secure website, and so it is the BCF website /PPP-disclosure. Once you access that site, you will come to a page that looks like this. When you click on, yes, I'm interested in PPP, or let's get started, then you will come to another page. But if you still have questions, let me just say at the bottom of this page, there is a link to a resource library. But once you click on one of these two links, yes, I'm interested, or let's get started, you will go to a page where you will fill out some preliminary contact information and then click submit. Once you click submit, you will receive an email from Applied Business Software. Please check your junk and spam folders for the email from Applied Business Software. That email will include 4 attachments. It will include the borrower application. It will include the loan calculator spreadsheet. It will include a PDF on how to calculate loan amounts, and it will include a spreadsheet regarding the entity document requirements depending upon your type of entity. We'll talk about all of that here just a bit. It will also include instructions on how to set up a username and password for your online folder. The idea is that you will download the documents, complete the documents, and we will talk about completing the documents in a bit, complete the documents and upload the documents into your folder so that all of the documents that are needed for your type of entity are there for us to assemble and to process. If all of that is overly complicated, the alternative is for you to just download the documents, complete the documents, scan them to yourself, and attach them to an email that you then address to ppp@bcfcapital.com. Now, I would like to turn over the presentation to Ms. Ashley O'Neill, who is a Senior Vice President at Midwest BankCentre, who is deeply, deeply knowledgeable of all of the documents required, the variations that are acceptable. And so, Ashley, I turn it over to you.
Thank you so very much, Winston, and good afternoon to everyone. So, of course, we've all heard all the great details about the Paycheck Protection Program, and a lot of business owners are not for sure where to begin. And hopefully this video will answer all of your questions that you have today. So, first things first, Payroll protection program, we need to know what your payroll costs are for your business. Know that for this, the documentation that is required is your 2019 payroll documentation. This can include any employee or sole proprietor salary, wages, commissions, tips, any bonuses, or hazard pay. You also get to include employee benefits as well, including but not limited to vacation, any sick time, along with healthcare benefits and retirement benefits as well. As an employer, a small business owner, you can also include any payroll, state and local taxes that the business paid on behalf of your employees. One thing to note, there is a cap on the annual salary per employee. If an employee salary is greater than $100,000, you would have to subtract the extra funds that employee earns per year. More information to come within the PPP loan calculator for your demonstration needs. A few things to share as well when it comes to our payroll cost. For businesses who have independent contractors, employees that are 1099, they are eligible to apply for their own PPP loan, so you would not be able to include their payroll costs within your PPP loan application. Same for corporations whose owners are not currently listed on the payroll, you will not be able to include that within your payroll cost as well. More information to come as we continue to review the documents and review the payroll calculator. Information that is required to complete the PPP application, of course, includes the borrower's application that can be found on the SBA website, and then also once you send an email to NMSDC or wanting to get started, the application is available for you. Please make sure you're using the current version of the borrower's application. It has a revision date of June 12th, 2020. While the document is PDF fillable, there are requirements of providing your actual wet initials and wet signatures on the application. This includes questions 5 and 6 on page 1 of the borrower application, and all of page 2 of the borrower application must be completed with your wet signature and wet initials. With the PPP borrower application as well, it is encouraged that you complete the documentation in full. More information to come as I will walk you through a borrower application also. For our PPP loan calculator, while we have provided a sample, and I will show a sample today for business owners to use, a business owner may also create their own calculator as well to calculate what their average monthly payroll costs are for their business. Please know though, each loan application that is submitted to NMSDC must include a completed loan calculator. I will walk you through completing a loan calculator later in the video. We also need information to verify the business and who's responsible for the business. For us, everyone should have registered their business with their local Secretary of State's office. And depending on the entity type, there could be additional documentation that is required. For example, if your business entity is a partnership, you should have a partnership agreement stating who is responsible for what within the business. To ensure that the applying parties have the authority to act on behalf of the business, in addition to the documents from the Secretary of State's website, we would also need a copy of the partnership agreement. We have provided a PPP business entity document requirements spreadsheet to help you quickly identify what additional documentation could be needed for your business based off of your entity type. Per the U.S. Patriot Act, we do also have to identify each applicant with 2 forms of ID. This can include, but not limited to, a state-issued driver's license or U.S. passport, a major debit card or major credit card, state-issued ID as well as acceptable. With that, please know that your information is secure, that is sent to us, but it is a requirement per the U.S. Patriot Act to collect 2 forms of ID for each applicant on the borrower's application. Also for your business, the Small Business Administration requires that we have payroll verification documents, also known as the payroll register. Some business owners may use a third-party payroll vendor to prepare their payroll for them on a quarterly, monthly, weekly basis. Some business owners may also have their own payroll register that they keep, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, a Word document, or a handwritten ledger. Please know that the payroll register for all of 2019 is needed, along with verification of payroll through the date of February 15th, 2020 is required. For businesses that include self-employed individuals, single-member LLCs, you do have the option of providing your 2019 Schedule C document found on Form 1040 filed with the IRS. That can also be used to provide your annual payroll cost for 2019 as well. Please note the Small Business Administration has shared, in the event you have not filed your 2019 federal taxes, you may complete a draft version of the 2019 Schedule C and submit that for the PPP loan. Some business owners will choose to provide healthcare and retirement benefits as well within their payroll cost calculation. If you decide to do that as a business, please be sure to include statements that shows the healthcare cost paid and any retirement benefits extended to your employee. This can also be found within your payroll statement. And if it's not listed there, you can also request documentation from the plan providers for both your healthcare cost and retirement benefits cost. One thing to keep in mind when it comes to the various payroll costs, some business owners will have all of the ones that are listed on the calculator, others will not. The one thing that I want to be sure that the business owner knows is that those are expenses that they can include to have within the PPP loan. Other documents that may be required, depending on entity type, can also include your partnership agreement, operating agreement as well if you are an LLC. Referencing the entity document on the website will provide you with additional details should additional documentation be required. As the business owner, if you have applied for an economic injury disaster loan, also known as the EIDL through the Small Business Administration, and you want to include the loan proceeds in refinancing within the PPP loan, we will need a copy of that loan agreement from the Small Business Administration. If you are still in the waiting process and have not received approval for the EIDL, at this time, it cannot be added into the calculation for the PPP loan. For your business also, a screenshot of your certificate of good standing is required. That can also be found on your Secretary of State's website, verifying that the business is operating and is in good standing at this time. As a business owner, if you are utilizing your own personal payroll register, you may also provide copies of your business bank statements, at least through the period of February 2020, to show that the business was still operating and paying its employees. In the event you have quarterly statements that are issued to the IRS, you may also include Q1 documents of the Form 941 for 2020 for payroll purposes as well. Form 941, the quarterly document, Form 941, or the annual document, Form 940, for your payroll costs for 2019 are also requested. In the event you are an LLC, a sole proprietor, an LLC or a corporation, this document is strongly needed and encouraged. If you are a single member LLC, there are other options that are available in the event you do not complete a Form 941 or 940. And as required by the NMSDC, please be sure to include your certification document. So I have completed a draft application. And as you can see within the screen, this is the most current version that's dated June 12th, 2020. You want to be sure that this document is completed in its entirety. A common error that we have seen with applications is some business owners select multiple entities. If you are not sure which entity your business is a part of, please check your Secretary of State's registration to verify what entity type your business is considered. And please mark accordingly. If your business legal name, you would fill in your business legal name as well and include the full address for your business. If you have a DBA name or a trade name, you want to be sure to include that on the document as well. Want to make sure that we type in our business tax ID number, business phone number, primary contact information, and email address to reach you should there be additional questions in regards to your application. Next, you would fill in your average monthly payroll, which I will show that within the calculator in just a moment. You would fill in your average monthly payroll and take this number times 2.5 and add any EIDL loans that you have to get your loan request amount. So in this example, Ashley LLC, her average monthly payroll is $2,500 times 2.5 gives her a loan request amount of $6,250. She has one employee. The purpose for this loan is strictly for payroll. Please know that for the purpose, you may choose multiple purposes in the event you need to. But if it's strictly for payroll, feel free to only check the payroll box. Under the applicant's ownership section, you want to be sure that this lists all owners who own 20% or more equity within the business that's applying for the PPP loan. If you have more than 2 owners that own 20% or more of the business, you may attach a separate document showing all of the makeup of the ownership for that business. In this example, though, Ashley Crawford is the only owner of the business. She's listed her name, her title, the percentage of ownership that she has, her social security number, not the business tax ID number. Her social security number is listed here, and then her full address is provided as well. Within the application, we have 8 questions that we have to answer on page 1. We want to be sure, and it's already stated, that if you answer questions 1 or 2 with a yes, the loan will not be approved. So I encourage you to please read and make sure that you answer the questions accordingly. For question 3, in the event you answer yes to this of being an owner of any other business or have common management with another business, you will have to complete a separate document known as Addendum A. And on that addendum, you would list that business name, address, and tax ID number, and what your relationship is with that business. And then for question 4, in the event you received an SBA economic injury disaster loan between January 31st, 2020 and April 3rd, 2020, if you answer yes, you'll have to provide an additional addendum known as Addendum B. For questions 5 through 8, again, you would read accordingly and answer accordingly as well. Know that initials are required for questions 5 and 6. Your actual wet initials are needed. While you may write in whichever color you choose, blue is a preferred color when it comes to loan documents. But again, you may use whatever color you choose as well. For questions 5 and 6, it's also noted that if you answer yes, the loan will not be approved. Questions 7 and 8, again, answer accordingly. If you do choose yes to question 8, they will verify if in fact you are a part of a franchise that is listed in the SBA's franchise directory. Page 2 of the borrower application provides various certifications and authorizations that the business applicant must read and initial. Wet initials are required for all of the certifications that are listed below. Once the business applicant has completed this with the wet initials, they'll also need to provide wet signatures, print their name, date, and title. This completes the PPP borrower application. One thing I will reference when it comes to the PPP loan, should you have additional questions or need additional information on the program, including who can apply, loan details, forms needed, please visit www.sba.gov, search for the Coronavirus Relief Option Paycheck Protection Program for additional details. On this website, you'll find additional documents, including frequently asked questions regarding the loan program, and then also questions on how to calculate maximum loan amounts by business type. PPP loan calculator. Again, each business owner may choose to create their own calculator. We have provided a calculator for you to use as well. And in my example that I will review today, show you how, if you choose to use the calculator provided by Midwest BankCentre. For your wages, tips, and other compensation, this is your total payroll cost for all of 2019. This information can be found on your payroll register, your IRS Form 941, or your IRS Form 940. It can also be found on your Schedule C for your business as well. For the sake of our example, let's just say that our total salary, wages, and tips for 2019 total $200,000. Because there is a salary cap of $100,000 per any one employee, if you have someone that earned more than $100,000 in 2019, we would need to include that information on the calculator as well. By clicking on the excess comp worksheet, you would type in the employee's name and key in the amount of the total salary of that employee for all of 2019. So in this example, Jane Doe earned $110,000 in 2019. 10,000 of that is not eligible for the PPP loan. Going back to the loan calculator tab, the 10,000 carries over and is already figured into our calculation. For this business, they do provide healthcare benefits for their employees, and the total amount paid in 2019 equals $5,000. When it comes to retirement benefits, the business owner does not offer a 401k match or retirement benefits for its business, so that information will remain at zero. For your state and city payroll taxes, this information can be found on the 2019 quarterly unemployment reports, and the amount that the business paid in 2019 totaled $1,500. Employer pension plans, for this business, they don't offer a pension to their employees, so this will also remain at zero. So within our figures, we see that our total payroll costs for all of 2019 totals $196,500. Next, within the calculator, it will calculate for us what our average monthly payroll is. It's our total payroll cost divided by 12, which gives us $16,375. Our multiplier of 2.5 times our average monthly payroll provides us with the amount of our potential loan amount. And in this example, the customer is eligible to apply for a PPP loan in the amount of $40,938. In the event a customer were to have an economic injury disaster loan and they would like to refinance the portion within their PPP loan proceeds, they would key in that number here. In this example, the client does not have an EIDL loan, so we will leave this blank. So on your PPP loan application, this customer will fill in $16,375 as their average monthly payroll for a loan amount of $40,938. Please know that each business varies as far as their payroll costs and expenses. By all means, if you have any questions, Midwest BankCentre and NMSDC are happy to assist each of you. Same thing also goes into play if you have questions in regards to your business entity and what documents are required. While the spreadsheets that we have provided as a guide are very helpful, in the event you have questions as a business owner, please feel free to contact us. We are happy to assist you as well. Based off of the information I provided today, and with the documents also shared, and referencing the SBA website should you have additional questions, you can now successfully submit a clean packet for a PPP loan to be submitted to the Small Business Administration.
Also, I just want to make sure that you know that SBA has reopened up the EIDL loan process, the economic injury disaster loan process. Those loans are now available. You can apply directly with SBA, and BCF will have EIDL loan applications available on our site. So I encourage you to, as you get your PPP loan, to also work to get your EIDL loan processed as well. Ashley, thank you so much for all of that information. As I mentioned, there's a lot of information. Ashley is an expert. She is a professional at this. She has processed hundreds of PPP loan applications. She has seen many, many different variations of payroll, cost documentation, etc. Ashley, I want to again thank you for participating in this video. I want to thank Midwest Bank for allowing you to work with us at BCF. We really appreciate all that you're doing to help this partnership flourish. Thank you, Ashley O'Neill. And team, I just want to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar. If you have questions, Ashley has given you places to go to get your questions answered. You can always email us at ppp@bcfcapital.com. Remember, there's more than $130 billion of PPP money remaining. Some of that money belongs to you. You need to apply for it now, starting today. Get your documents into us. Thank you so much. All the best. I look forward to seeing your documents. Bye-bye.
Thank you to Winston Smith of the Business Consortium Fund and Ashley O'Neill of Midwest BankCentre for conducting this instructional video about how to apply for the Paycheck Protection Loan, or what is also known as PPP, which is designed specifically for small and minority businesses. Remember, these funds can be converted to a forgivable grant. My name is Adrienne Trimble, and I'm the President and CEO of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. This is a call to action. I want to encourage every one of our minority business owners, no matter the size, to apply for PPP so that you can take advantage of this funding opportunity. The good news is that the EIDL advanced loan has reopened, and I also suggest that MBEs apply for that. These are tough times, but we are committed to provide you with everything possible to help you succeed. Stay connected to your local affiliate councils. There is a lot going on, and there are many more programs that are coming, and we will continue to stay healthy and safe by conducting these programs virtually. We will get the information to you as quickly as possible. Please make sure to check our website at nmsdccares.org for all of your COVID-19 related information, and you can also apply for the PPP funding at bcfcapital.com. Be well, be safe, and stay connected.